Hello, Texas.
So we were just talking about this. I actually just pulled up this old interview that you did with Magnus from the Cardigans years ago, and this was when he was introducing you touring on the CWA tour, Chicks with Attitude.
Chicks with Attitude.
Yes.
Yeah, 20 years ago now, I think.
Yes. And that was how I discovered you. But then I noticed he said on there that you had known each other for 6 years.
Yes.
How did you know Magnus?
So, yeah, we were on the same label. We were on Mercury together. Okay. And I opened for them. That was one of my first tours. And yeah, it was 1997, I think. So
in the midst of local crazy.
1998, yeah. My favorite touring memory. So I'll start with the Troubadour. I opened for the Cardigans at the Troubadour. I think it was 1998. And I remember it being like, first of all, to play the Troubadour, it's like a iconic venue, right?
It's like Elton John, people like
Bob Dylan, yeah. And then the Cardigans were just dealing with like a ton of fame at that point, right? And I guess Gran Turismo.
I think Gran Turismo may have just come out. That came out in 98, right?
Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot of attention. So it was really interesting for me as like 23-year-old to see how they handled that, you know? And then I remember the first time I actually was in a room with them rehearsing. So this was definitely, maybe it was Chicks with Attitude tour, wonderfully named. And I just remember being blown away by how great of a band they were. Like, just because I'd already been in David Bowie's band, and that was one thing because all the musicians were so good.
Yeah.
But with the Cardigans, like, they've been playing together for so long. That it was just solid.
And it was just them, so they're super tight, right?
Yeah, and like a family, right? So I remember stepping into that band going like, I better not screw this up because they have a family vibe. And
was it more intimidating than Bowie, or was it?
It wasn't intimidating from like a personal standpoint, but from a musical standpoint, it definitely was like, whoa, like everyone's at a different level. And I think it's not about necessarily, like, they were all great musicians, but again, it was about how they were as
how they fused together.
Yes. Right. So, yeah. And then
all the pieces just gelled, right?
Yeah. So
but you managed to fit right in with them. I thought like,
well, thank you.
I heard you with them. And I was like, and I remember thinking, oh, she sounds great backing up. And
thank you. Well, I worked hard at it, and I don't, I really love, like, they're in it for the work, and for the musicality. And you can see that in what Nina's done in recent years, right? It's just so beautiful and artistic. And so when someone's doing something like that, you just want to kind of elevate to their level.
Yeah. I remember, because I went, in fact, we were at I was at the Gypsy Tea Room in Dallas, and you were there. I remember that. So,
okay.
And I'd seen them prior to that with her, actually. So, yeah.
TT, yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think everything sounded awesome.
Thank you. Thanks. I remember that now.
I wish this was a bigger venue.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're always great when they play. Did you have a favorite Cardigans song that you enjoyed playing with them? Like a favorite live one in particular?
That's a really good question. Long Gone Before Daylight.
Yeah.
Is the album.
That's when they were touring.
So many of those songs I just love so much.
Like For What It's Worth, You're the Storm.
Yeah. Communication I love. Feathers and Down. Like, they're just so, I don't know how to pick
That's a great album.
Kind of the slower ones, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one had a lot. I mean, that one had a lot more mid-tempo and slower.
Yeah, I'm a mid-tempo girl, so.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a favorite Cardigan song, period? Would it be one of those?
I love Gran Turismo.
Okay.
I think for two reasons. Like, it reminds me of a chunk of my life when things were quite a bit different than they are now, right? Like being on the label, just moving around, going to New York. It was pre-Bowie too. So a lot of people talk to me about David Bowie, but I think that music kind of reminds me of sort of what I was doing before. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's hard to argue with Erase Rewind.
Yeah.
That's just probably one of my favorites.
So you've collaborated with Nina. Blackwing Bird, the Cake Sale,
Mhm.
that thing. I know you did some stuff with Nathan Larson, her husband, like Hot One, and maybe he produced
Mhm.
one of your albums. Right?
Yeah.
So do you have any? Do you see any future collaborations with them in the probably maybe not in the near future, but maybe someday?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. They're so creative and always doing new things.
Mm-hmm.
But there really was that time where it was like, I was doing stuff with Nina and A Camp and Nathan
Yeah.
and being in Sweden a lot. And then it was like right before I had kids.
Oh, yeah.
So it's sort of like, in a weird way, it was like this blessing to be able to be in Sweden for so long
Mm-hmm.
before I had kids, just to kind of like, even like see how, the attitude towards kids over there is different. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
you go to a bar and someone bring their baby in and it's just no big deal. Whereas in Canada, we're a bit like hyper vigilant.
It's different there, right?
So, yeah. And then they also have their son now too. So they might be moving back.
Yeah, I've seen they sold their place in Harlem, I think.
Yeah.
They always seem like they're always flying back and forth or something. So
Yeah.
I'm never quite sure.
So you never know. I mean, I love them both, and we'll see what happens.
So maybe.
Maybe never say
We'll
never. In the words of Justin Bieber.
So here's a controversial question. Who's your favorite Cardigan?
Ooh, I asked you that, didn't I?
Yeah, so I'm turning the tables.
Yeah, I mean, Nina, really. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. We've had such great times in Sweden. Like, yeah, Nina's my favorite. We have lots of fun together. We joke about guitar solo faces that people make when they play guitar. No, she's just been a lovely friend, and
you still keep in touch with her?
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much as I'd like, but we actually had a Zoom cocktail thing. Michael, my partner, and Nina and Nathan over the pandemic, and that was nice. Like,
oh, right on.
And just get a little glimpse of what life is like for them now, and yeah.
What sparks your musical creativity? What motivates you? What keeps you going?
Yeah, I mean, I think curiosity and giving yourself room to have inspiration, right? Like I'm guilty of doing things all day long that don't have anything to do with music as well as a parent, right? But I think like kind of letting yourself fall in love with doing it again, especially writing music, because that's where it all comes from, right?
Yeah.
And then finding that courage to write for yourself instead of trying to please people. So, yeah. And I think sometimes that will come from listening to other people's music too.
Yeah. Inspiration.
So, yeah. But I do think we're different as, adults than teenagers with that. Like, it was really easy to like dream as a teenager. And, but now we just have a lot going on, right? So it's sort of like you think, wow, if I have to choose between helping my kids and writing a song, I'm going to help my kids, right? But I think, fighting for that creative time.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about or introduce people to Queen Beach Killer Cat?
Oh my God. My husband is here. He's half of it. So you want to come say hi? This is a big deal because we haven't talked about our band publicly.
Yeah, only two. So I don't know if you want to reveal too much yet.
Okay.
Because I know you've only talked about it to like people like so.
This is Michael.
Hello.
And we've actually been writing songs for like a couple of years, and we decided to start a band.
So we actually wrote together on the last record. Business and Pleasure.
And then it went so well that we decided to start a band.
Yeah.
So we're super excited.
So what sort of music can we expect?
Well,
style are you going for?
We really love the 70s and we love the 80s. And I love really strong female vocals. So what are you hoping to get out of the band?
I think we discovered what it could be in New York in that City Winery show.
Yeah. There's other musicians. So Mark Plotty.
Yeah.
Doug Yole.
There was a sense of fun, a sense of happiness and joy. And there's an edge to it as well that I think is really kind of cool. There's a real sense of play. So it's not just all sweet and loving and lovey.
We're thinking Toto with female vocals, kind of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, with
who doesn't want that?
Like Hold the Line.
Yeah.
Like Africa.
Yeah, but it'll be its own thing, you know? Like, but maybe a little bit of soul.
Yeah, a little bit of soul, a little bit of
muso.
Yeah.
I personally think the 70s is a golden era of rock.
Really is.
Yeah.
There's something relaxing about it, right? Like, and
there's just so much experimentation.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah, from prog to disco to
Genesis and of course Bowie and you had Pink Floyd.
And I think that exactly like kind of nails it right there. It's that sense of experimentation with everything from prog to disco, everything from like the muso stuff to funky rhythms, from Steely Dan to Toto to like just and having a sense of humor too.
Yeah.
And not being afraid to have that.
Not take yourself too seriously.
Yeah. We need to lighten up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. I'm getting a picture.
We have a pretty good logo.
Audio picture of how it might go. Is there a method, the way you guys write a song together? Is there, does it start with the music or the lyrics, or how does, especially with him being in the picture now, it used to be just you writing everything pretty much.
Yeah. Well, Michael's a poet, so a lot of ideas will, not necessarily come from that, but come from conversations that we have or things that we see or go through. And then we'll sometimes just kind of pick a song that we model a song after, to be honest. And like on the last record, Burn the Boats was, Michael had his own concept for the lyrics, but I saw it as like a Do It Again, Steely Dan type vibe. But you would not really pick that up from the song. That's kind of the joy of having female vocals. We kind of write that way, but we're kind of going back and forth all the time. And we just experimenting and having fun. Michael will bring some lyrics. I'll work them in. They won't be right. They'll go back to him. We'll, and then we've got,
some back and forth.
We also have Mark Claddy, who I mentioned, is helping with writing. And then Doug will play drums. So it's really like this.
So it's just a full-on collaboration.
Yeah.
Bono once said that he wished he wrote Almighty Love. It's another great song of yours.
This almighty love can't deny it when it comes. But baby, it's so wrong. This almighty love, sometimes it seems enough.
Thanks.
Is there a song that you wish you had written? Is that one specific one?
That's a really good question. Oh gosh. I don't really wish that I wrote anyone else's song. That's the thing. I'm not now. I should probably lighten up and try to pick a few. My tastes are so varied.
Yeah.
So I'll like everything from Peter Gabriel to Def Leppard to Joni Mitchell to Tori Amos to Iron Maiden, right?
Yeah.
And I don't really wish that I wrote any of their songs as much as I think sometimes when I listen to a Tori Amos song, I'm just like, how did she do that? For sure. But then, we just went to the Motown Museum and like listening to that music, like you kind of wish you knew how to put those songs together.
Yeah.
Like some Doobie Brothers songs, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael McDonald.
What a Fool Believes. If I wrote that, I'd probably be living in a sweet house.
I was listening to that the other day.
Such a great song, yeah.
It is a great song.
But a lot of it has to do with who performs it too, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's hard to imagine that song without his vocal on the lead.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if Bono recorded Almighty Love, I think he'd do himself a favor.
Might be doing you a favor.
Yeah.
Is there any particular artist that you would like to collaborate with that you haven't yet?
Good question.
Or you have a dream like
I have a dream.
Michael McDonald?
I'm always wanting to duet with Michael McDonald, and the fact that it hasn't happened yet is frankly a travesty.
Yes, it should happen.
Um,
I'm sure he'll see this.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll call me tomorrow. I don't know. He's like the king of that genre. So probably.
Any particular artists that you're listening to now that are really hitting with you?
Yeah, there's a lot actually. I love Sigrid. I love Young Gun Silver Fox, who, if you haven't heard Young Gun Silver Fox,
That's another yacht rock.
yeah, modern
I haven't
yacht.
listened to them yet, but I know you.
I think you better go and listen to them because
Okay.
they're really awesome. Moika is a new artist from Scandinavia. And I love this band Muna from LA. They're great. I think they opened for Taylor Swift on her last.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
When are you and Chris Hadfield going to do 39 by Queen? Be a great one. I just feel like it seems like
That
it's
should
meant
be
to
happening.
happen.
Okay, I'll
Okay,
ask him.
Space.
Yeah.
You know, song about space. Another one. I mean, you can never have too many songs about space that you're involved with.
Okay. Maybe we'll take that to our Legion of Astronaut friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. And anything else? Anything else you want to share?
Just that it's really great to meet you. And I did not think I'd be in Texas a few months ago. So
I didn't think so either.
loving it. And thanks for watching. And
All right. Well, I'm excited.
Shayna.
All right. Thank you so much for sitting down and
Thank
doing all
you.
that.